Do you want to learn how to make Snapchat filters? In today's video, I'm going to walk you on how to create Snapchat filters for fun or sell as digital products. Welcome everyone, and if you are new to the channel and want to learn how to build an impactful online business, consider subscribing. I do upload weekly videos, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you are the first one notified of any new videos. I personally have been selling digital products on my website and on Etsy now for over 5 years. And I love selling digital products, and most of them make me passive income, which means I create once and customers buy from me over and over without having to do any additional work. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you step by step how to create a Snapchat filter using my favorite graphic design tool, Canva. Everything that I will show you today can be duplicated in your favorite software program. For example, if you want to use Photoshop, feel free to use it. I'm doing it on Canva simply because it's user-friendly for any beginners out there. So let's head over to my computer and let's get started with this tutorial. All right, so here we are on my computer. And before we get started in the actual tutorial, I wanted to share with you some resources and tools that you could use when creating Snapchat filters, because I think that they're worth talking about. So the first thing I wanted to mention is that if you're creating these to make money with the digital products and you want to start selling Snapchat filters, it is possible. There's many stores on Etsy that sell, as you can see here, Snapchat filters. And if you already have a current store, maybe you sell already, you're in the wedding industry, you could actually create an additional product to your products already, and you could create wedding Snapchat filters if you wanted to as well. As you can see, there's tons and tons of them. So it is a way that you could make additional income, whether it's just, you just want to make just a little bit in the side, or you want to make an entire store where you sell different themes, like for birthday party, weddings, all sorts of different events, and put them all together in your store. So just wanted to show you that because it is possible. Now, another tool that I wanted to share with you is Creative Market. If you have not visited them before, I will leave my referral link right below this video in the comments section. And when you go to Creative Market, you could definitely find beautiful clip art, beautiful fonts, and anything else that you want in order to make your Snapchat filter. You could come in here and type in fonts, and you have all of these options here to choose from. And you could also just come in here and say, okay, I need some balloons. I want to make a birthday Snapchat filter. And you could come in here and find all of these beautiful clip arts. Now, what I recommend is whenever you are purchasing any type of clip art, that you make sure that you click on it, you read the terms and conditions, that you're buying the commercial license, so it gives you the right to use, and that you also look at what program is required for this particular file. Some of these are compatible with Photoshop, some are compatible with InDesign, some are JPEG, PNG files, which are compatible with Canva. Those are the ones that you will need to get, so PNG and JPEG. And it tells you right here what type of file. So these are PNG, meaning it has a clear background. So you could put these over any color, which is great for Snapchat filters. So just keep that in mind. This is really important that you check what file type it is. So once you do that, and once you create your Snapchat filter, if you're using it for the purpose of selling, you're going to need to have like a mock-up. What I recommend is this amazing site. This is my top favorite resource for photos. It's called Unsplash. So you go to unsplash.com and you could come in here and find any type of pretty much any photo you might need for your business, and you could use it without having to give no attribution. You could just click right here and read more about the terms and condition, and it tells you here, all photos can be downloaded and used for free, commercial and non-commercial purposes, no permission needed. But attribution is appreciated if you want to. The only thing you cannot do is photos cannot be sold without significant modification and compiling photos from Unsplash to replicate a similar or competitor service. Obviously, they don't want you to use their photos to create your own website to compete with them. But it's really cool. I don't sell these photos. What I normally do, I use them for mockups. So for instance, that's what I'll be using today. So I will go here on Unsplash and let's say I look up for a wedding. I type in wedding. I kind of go through these and maybe I like how this looks and I want to create a filter using this picture in the background. So this is where I go to find because they have amazing high quality photos. You could use these for social media. You could use these for your mockups or any other project you have. Just make sure that you abide by the rules. Now, once you have your photo, obviously you would download it. You would just click here, download, and then you could use that. So now let's go ahead and get started with the actual tutorial. Now that you know where to find mockups, now that you know where to find creative, like digital assets on Creative Market, etc. So once you are in Canva, one thing that you always have to keep in mind is that social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, they're constantly changing everything, right? So make sure that you're always on the latest size of the snapshot filter. At one point, it was 1080 by 1920. Now is 1080 pixel by 2030 pixel tall. So just keep that in mind, understanding that it constantly are changing. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and create a design. And I'm going to do custom size, right? Because we're doing a snapshot filter. And it's going to be, it's right here already, 1080 by 2340. So 1080 in width, 2340 in height. And I'm going to go ahead and click on create new design. Now from here, this is the actual design. This is going to be my Canva where I create the snapshot filter. From here, I'm going to go ahead and upload any of my images. I already have them saved in the actual upload. If you don't, this is where you will go and upload your image that you found on Unsplash. This is where you will upload any graphic designs that you're using on the actual design. So I'm going to go ahead and go down here somewhere where I have clip art. I actually use Canva quite often, even though I also use quite often Photoshop. But I love Canva. It makes it so easy to do things in different projects. So I'm just searching for my clip art that I already have saved down here. So here we go. I'm going to be using this one here. Now for photos, I'm going to be using this one here that I found on Canva. But I actually like finding photos on Unsplash because of everything I just mentioned, that you can actually use them without any issues. So the first thing I always do is I add a photo because it makes it more realistic for me when I'm creating. I want to see how the font looks against the photo. I want to see how the flower looks against the photo, etc. So that's the reason why. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go back to my uploads, or I'm going to go to text, and I'm going to start playing around with the idea of what I'm going to write. So I want to say something like just married. So I'm going to use this font here. I'm going to push it to the bottom. Now keep in mind that with Snapchat, you have to make sure Snapchat suggests you only use the top or bottom 25% of the screen. So just keep that in mind as well. So I'm going to put here just married. I kind of like this font actually. So I'm going to put it all in one line. And I'm going to make this white. So you could play around with the colors, obviously, and pick the color that you prefer. That's kind of nice as well. But I'm going to do white for this one. And then I'm going to click on T for text. So I could get a quick text here. And now I'm going to put the person's name, Michelle and Carl. All right. I'm going to push this down here. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. See if I could push this up. Obviously, play around with this. You could change your fonts by going here and selecting whichever other font you would like to use. Let's go ahead and use this one. I always like to do different variations of fonts. It makes it look nicer in my opinion. But it's really up to you. Be as creative as you like. I'm going to change the font to white. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate the one with the name Michelle and Carl. by clicking up here, duplicate. And I'm going to go ahead and change the date. So 08, I'm going to add the date, excuse me. Okay. Oh, that's on 2022. Okay. So I'm going to make the date a little bit smaller. And I'm going to go ahead and add the flowers. So I'm going to add a flower there. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller and put it right there. And then I'm going to duplicate this flower, put it over here, but I'm going to go ahead and flip horizontal the flower. All right, and then I'm going to move it. Oops, excuse me. I'm going to move it a little bit over here, just to be right on top. Another thing you could do is, if you're not sure if it's outlined or if it's lined up correctly, you could go to Files, Show Rulers. It's going to give you the rulers here. I'm just going to drag this down just to see. So right there, they actually are matching, even though they didn't look like they were. They are aligned, in other words. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm happy with that, so I'm going to delete it. So let's say this was my finished product. Like, I'm happy with this. This is what I want. Or I could always add a few more elements if I wanted to, right? I could add a couple flowers up here if I wanted to as well, right? And make it very, very pretty. So let's say this is my final project. What you want to do, if you're using it, let's start with the personal. If you're using it for personal, you're going to upload this to Snapchat filter and use it for your wedding, or maybe you did one for your birthday. What you're going to do is you're going to delete let me duplicate this. You're going to delete the image on the back. The text is still there. It's just white, so that's why you don't see it. You're going to download this. And you do need the Canva Pro in order to be able to create a transparent background. So keep that in mind. You could try Canva Pro for 30 days if you like, for free. I will leave the link as well right below this video in the comments. You could just click on it and have the free one for 30 days and then decide if you want to upgrade or not. But you would need to click here, transparent, because you have to download a transparent PNG file. That way you could upload your image and then you could put this right on top and it's not going to be a problem. So you would download it as a transparent PNG and you would download this. And this is what you will use when you go to Snapchat to go ahead and add it as a filter. And that's all you're going to do. And this will be your file that you will upload, and it will have all your information, as you can see. And you could put this right on top of a photo and it will be beautiful. Now, if you're using it to sell, let's say on Etsy, maybe you have a Shopify store, maybe you have an Amazon store, I don't know, like you want to sell this as a digital product. You will do the same when you save it for the customer. Once you edit this and you put the customer's name and you put the customer's date, you would save it as a PNG transparent, and that's what you would give the customer. However, what you also want to do is make sure that you save a copy with the actual design. So you want to download the design as is, you could download it as a PNG and use this as a mock-up. So you would use this photo as your Etsy mock-up of what they would get once they buy this particular product from your store. And this would give them an idea of how it actually looks. And then all they will need to do is buy the digital product from you, give you the information, which is just the name and the actual date. You edit the file on Canva, or if you have it as a Photoshop template, you will save it in your folders as a Photoshop template. Open that template, edit, create, save it as a PNG with a transparent background, and then give that to the customer. But this is how easy it is to create different filters for wedding, for birthdays. You just gotta get very creative. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be an amazing graphic designer. There's ways to still make digital products without necessarily having that certificate of this is what I do for a living. So just keep that in mind. If you have any questions about the process or anything that maybe I confused you on, let me know in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to break it down for you or help you. Also, keep in mind, I'm going to be adding a lot of digital tutorials. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you are always notified whenever I upload these videos. But let me know if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.